Welcome to Alive and Well, the podcast for the new era of high achievers. You're done burning out, and you're ready to lead, work, and live in a rhythm that honors both your brilliance and your body. I'm your host, Michelle Grosser. I'm a trial attorney turned nervous system strategist, and I've lived the burnout story. I know what it's like to chase your goals at the expense of your well-being. And I also know it doesn't have to be that way. Here, we're redefining success. It's where productivity feels peaceful, boundaries feel like freedom, and energy comes from within. Each week, I'll share practical tools for nervous system regulation, time mastery, and somatic strategies so you can show up with clarity, calm, and confidence in every part of your life. Because you, my friend, were given a spirit of power, love, and a sound mind. So here's to life and living it fully. This is the path to feeling alive and well. Let's dive in. What's up, you guys? This is Michelle. Welcome to Alive and Well. Today on the podcast, we're going to talk about probably one of my favorite things to teach on because it has such a high ROI. It makes such a difference. And yet it's something that we tend to, I think, trivialize or put at the end of our, not even our to-do list, but more so like we kind of put it in this category of things that would be nice to do if we had more time. And it never actually becomes prioritized, and it never actually actualizes. Because I know for me, if you had told me 10 years ago that play, which is what we're going to talk about today, would be one of the most productive nervous system regulating things that I could do in my adult life, I probably would have smiled politely at you and then gone right back to like color coding my Google Calendar because I didn't have time for play. I had court deadlines and I had toddlers who were keeping me busy day in and day out and awake all night long. I had a husband who traveled. I had a law practice that was swallowing me whole. And somewhere along the way, without ever consciously choosing it, I really noticed that I started to absorb this belief that being an adult meant that I had to be serious or efficient or productive or stoic or composed at all times. And I also tend to run the rigid pattern if you guys have taken my personality pattern quiz. So play for so long felt, I don't know, maybe it felt childish, maybe it felt irresponsible, maybe it felt like it wasn't a good use of my time, right? It was inefficient. But let me tell you what actually happened, because I had it all backwards. And the more that I became efficient, oh my gosh, the tighter my chest and shoulders felt, right? The more productive I was, the more exhausted I was, and the more brittle I became and emotionally volatile and not sleeping well and all of those things, right? The more like optimized I was, the more optimized my calendar was, the more optimized my routines were, the less I enjoyed my life. And I see this pattern in so many of the women that I work with, high capacity, high standards, high achieving women who are doing, quote unquote, all the right things. And yet they still feel more anxious and more lonely and more overwhelmed than ever. So today, what I want to do is I kind of want to resurrect something that we know we were born to do, something that our nervous system is literally wired to crave. And it's something that can change the entire tone. I'm telling you guys, the entire tone and texture of your day without adding one more stinking thing to your to-do list. And it's play. And I'm not talking about, like, hear me. I am not talking about the Pinterest version of play, right? The color coordinated, like, crafting hour, or the performative, like I played with my kids for 30 minutes today because it was on my schedule. No, I'm talking about the kind of play that is not a means to an end. It is the end in and of itself. It is pointless other than to bring you joy. It's not productive. It's not performative. It's not because someone else is asking you to do it or wants you to do it and it feels like another obligation. It's done simply for the joy of doing it. Guys, this is the kind of play that reconnects you to your aliveness. And I don't know if you guys are Mary Poppins fans or you've seen Mary Poppins, But in the musical, I felt like there was just this moment that kind of captured this. You have Mr. Banks, who's kind of stiff, rigid, working, joyless, exhausted, and he gets fired from his job, and he comes home and he should be miserable and devastated and not pleasant to be around. But instead, what does he do? He picks up his kid's like broken toy and he fixes it, and then he launches into song, and no one recognizes him, right? Everyone's like, wait a minute, because freedom from the grind did something to awaken his inner child, right? And his joy is contagious. It lifts his whole house. And that's what's so brilliant about this moment, is that it reveals something that the neuroscience has been screaming at us for decades, frankly. Play is not trivial. Play is not irresponsible. Play is not childish. Play is essential to your regulation, to your creativity, and to your longevity. And Dr. Stuart Brown, he's the founder of the National Institute for Play. He studied the play histories of over 6,000 people. And what he found is that play dramatically improves our personal health. It improves our relationships. It improves our resilience, our emotional regulation, our stress recovery, and creative problem solving. I don't know about you guys, but those are all things that I want to improve. We know that play leads to brain plasticity. We know that play expands our adaptability. Play is medicine, you guys, on a cellular level. So what I want to do today is I want to walk you through 3 reasons, if you're not convinced yet, right? 3 reasons why play might be the single most productive thing that you will do this week. And not because it's going to get you further on paper, but because it will fundamentally change who you are while you're moving forward. And that's the work, you guys. Okay, so reason number 1 why play might be the most productive thing you're going to do this week. Play broadens your possibilities. Play broadens your possibilities. When you're stressed out, your brain narrows, literally. When we're under stress, our amygdala, that fear center of our brain, takes over, right? And what is it doing? It's scanning for threats all day long. It's shrinking our perspective. It's giving us tunnel vision. It's shutting down creativity. It's shutting down intuition. It's shutting down our flexibility and our adaptability. This is why when you're overwhelmed, it's really hard to make decisions. Like, someone raise your hand if that's you. When you're overwhelmed, it's really hard to make decisions. You miss obvious solutions, right? Things that are right in front of your face. You're like, man, how did I miss that? Right? What happened there? Why didn't I see that? You start catastrophizing, right? It's really easy for your brain to all of a sudden start going into worst case scenarios, and you're trying to get ahead of everything and playing it out and see, and when we're in that space, we really only see 2 options. And it shows up in a bunch of different ways, but it really just funnels down to 2 options: fight or run, right? Fight or flee, because stress reduces activity in our prefrontal cortex. It reduces our executive function, the part of our brain that imagines and innovates and explores. But when you play, the opposite happens. Play opens your mind, you guys. Play interrupts that rigid thinking. Play activates your dopamine pathways, and that increases your motivation and it increases your creativity. Play gives you access to such a wider range of possibilities everywhere. In your relationships, in your parenting, right? In your business, in your day-to-day life. Like, I want that. Because, just think about it for a second. When have you gotten some of your best ideas? In the shower? On a walk? On vacation? When you're laughing with a friend? When you're on a flight? When you're dancing with your kids? It's not while you're staring angrily at a spreadsheet, right? That's never happened for me. Play expands my creative bandwidth, and it'll do the same for you. It'll give you more options, and honestly, it'll give you this light-hearted sense of your life back. So that's reason number 1. Play broadens your possibilities. All right, let's jump into reason number 2. And this is it. This is what we do here. Play is the natural antidote to stress. Y'all are looking out there for stress management programs and time management programs and productivity and optimization and all of that stuff. That ain't it. Play is the natural antidote to stress. Because let's just talk nervous system. Stress, we know, is not just a feeling. It is not a mindset. Stress is a full body physiological state. So when our nervous system senses stress, right? Real stress, or just the perception of stress, something bad might happen, or it's going to happen, or, I'm running out of time, or however that looks. Cortisol rises, adrenaline spikes, our body mobilizes energy so we can fight or run or freeze. And here's the kicker. Your nervous system cannot differentiate between, running from a tiger and a calendar reminder, or a screaming toddler, or another Slack notification. To your body, stress is stress. There's no such thing as good stress or bad stress to your body. It's all the same. So when you spend your day rushing everywhere, pleasing everybody, performing, pushing, managing, stuffing all the emotions down so you can just get through the next thing, your nervous system is in survival mode. What's the opposite of all of that? Play. Play disrupts all of that, because play signals safety, right? Play releases tension. There's nothing about play that signals to our nervous system that we're unsafe and we have to run and fight a tiger. Play signals safety. It releases tension. It floods our system with dopamine and oxytocin. Play also activates our social engagement system. That's the branch of our vagus nerve that tells our body we can calm down. We're safe. It's all right. Chill out. We can soften. And I'm not just telling you this because I'm obsessed with the nervous system. I'm telling you this because this is measurable. MRI studies, you guys, show that play increases activity in our hippocampus. What's that? That's the part of your brain that is responsible for your memory. That's the part of your brain that's responsible for learning. That's the part of brain that's responsible for emotional regulation. So it increases activity in those parts of our brain. At the same time, and this is the 1-2 punch, at the same time, it also decreases amygdala reactivity. And we know that our amygdala is that alarm center in our brain. So guys, just think about it, right? This is why play helps you think clearly. Increased activity in the hippocampus, decreased activity in the amygdala. It's why it brings you back online. It recovers your cognitive function. You are literally more intelligent when you play, because play opens up access to those parts of your brain. We're wired for it. It's fascinating. All right, so that's the second one. And then the third reason why play might be the most productive thing you do this week is that play enhances executive function, which makes you better at everything you care about. So if you hear anything today, just let it be this. Play is not frivolous. Play improves your ability to plan. It improves your ability to prioritize. It improves your ability to delegate and decide and initiate and problem solve. This is executive function, and play strengthens it. And when we talk about those MRI studies I was just referring to, when we look at that, those studies during play, there's this simultaneous activation of that prefrontal cortex, the logic, the planning, the strategy, and the default mode network, which is creativity and imagination and intuition and insight. This is the exact combination that high capacity, high achieving women need. It's what us leaders need, especially those of us who are balancing careers and kids and marriage and home and community and our own inner world, inner life, right? Play is what creates cognitive flexibility that we need to be able to lead ourselves well. Play is what makes us less reactive and more resilient. Play is what makes us less brittle and more adaptive. It's honestly how we expand our internal capacity. So if I have you convinced, or maybe at least I have you paying attention and your interest is piqued, how do we go about actually doing this, right? Because it's probably the number one question I get from the women I work with when I talk about play. They're like, cool, sounds great. Sign me up. But I don't even know where to start, right? How do we bring play back into our lives? the lives that we live that are full of demands and obligations and responsibilities and, parenting and carpool driving and all the things. Here's my invitation to you this week, or even right now. Start thinking about mine your past for play memories. Even right now, as you're listening to this, maybe you're on a walk, maybe you're commuting, maybe you're meal prepping, whatever you're doing. What did you do as a kid that made time disappear? You weren't even aware of how long you spent doing the thing. You could do it all day. What are those things that you could get lost in when you were 7, 10, right? 12, when you were a kid? What made time disappear? What just lit you up and you were in your own little world? Maybe it was dancing. Maybe it was something artistic. Maybe it was like drawing or painting or some sort of craft. Maybe it was playing an instrument. Maybe it was just like being outside and running around and climbing trees. Maybe it was a sport you played, right? That was definitely it for me. Like I could shoot free throws in my driveway for 10 hours and it wouldn't get old, right? I could work on my jump shot. I could set up little drills for myself. Like I loved it. Maybe it was singing. Maybe it was like just creating and storytelling and ideating. Maybe it was like, I don't know, rollerblading or making up games, like whatever it was, let it come to mind. And now, right, in 2025, if you're listening to this in real time, how can you recreate just like a small sliver of that? 5% of that, right? Maybe you don't have the time or the bandwidth or whatever it is to like go all out on some big new hobby. But what if you could just like play more of the songs that you loved, that you remember playing in your college dorm room that you would just dance around to while you were getting ready to go out, right? What if you could just sit and color with your kids? What if you just did more random dancing around your kitchen or while you were doing laundry or while you were getting ready in the bathroom, right? What if you could just do something pointless on purpose just because you enjoyed it? Like let it be inefficient. Let it be yours. Let it be like quote unquote wasteful. Watch what happens in your nervous system. Watch what happens in your creativity. Watch what happens in your mood, in your relationships, y'all, in your capacity. Because let me just tell you, play is not the opposite of productivity. It's just not. It's the foundation of it. And if you're curious, if you're interested, if you want to go deeper into this work, you guys, of truly regulating your nervous system, I'm talking about restoring your capacity. I'm talking about intentionally building a life that feels sustainable, right? Get your groove back in a way that's sustainable. Enjoy your own company. Enjoy the company of the people in your family and them enjoy yours, right? The next cohort of Burnout Recovery Blueprint starts in January, but the wait list is open. So it's just a simple Google form I created. Click on the link in the show notes, put your name and your email on the wait list. And what happens is that I will personally reach out to you as Black Friday approaches. And if you have your name on that wait list, you're going to get first access to registration for Burnout Recovery Blueprint January cohort. You're going to get early savings. You're going to get extra bonuses, optional upgrades, like all this stuff that always sells out because we have a huge Black Friday sale coming in a couple weeks. So if joining me and working with me and BRB has been on your heart, this is the time to plan for it. And I would love to see you there. There's no commitment in jumping on the wait list. It's just basically opening up access to all of the goodies that are going to come during Black Friday. So then you can decide if it feels aligned for you. And obviously I'm here to answer any questions you guys have. You can just email me back because I'm going to email you from my personal email. Okay. One assignment this week. Can you choose one tiny moment of play this week? Can you go back, right, and think about the spark of your childhood self and choose to incorporate one small moment of play this week and just notice what happens, right? One little sliver of silliness and joy and creativity and fun, right? And just this feeling of like lightness. Give yourself permission to feel fun and alive again, my friends. All right. I love y'all so much. Thanks for being with me. I'll talk to y'all soon. Be well.
If you love Mommy's Podcast, leave a review.
Thanks for listening to Alive and Well. If today's episode resonated, would you do me a favor? Take 30 seconds and leave a 5-star rating and short review. It really helps to get this show out to other people just like you who could also use the information in this podcast. And if you're ready to take the next step in regulating your nervous system, download my free Nervous System Reset Guide. It's linked right in the show notes. Inside, you'll find simple, body-based practices to help you feel more clear, calm, and connected starting today. Make sure you're following the show so you don't miss out on what's coming next, because you were made to thrive. Fully alive, fully present, and fully well. I'll see you soon.